everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services.
Playoff hockey, two of the best words to hear in the athletic world. And what better place to spend it than the Recplex in beautiful Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. Alongside Steve Taylor, I'm Andy Diedrich, bringing you some CSDHL playoff hockey action here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. Steve, we've seen 2 games of playoff hockey today. Had a short little break there, and luckily, those are just the appetizers. We're getting to some of the main course here. 2 great teams in Bloomington and the Chicago Blues. What do we have in store for us?
Honestly, it's going to be one of the best games of the day. You said it already. This is the meat and potatoes of the schedule today. 8 games, and Game 3 is going to be a thriller. Bloomington, their last regular season outing was a 3-2 win over Afton. All of the goals that were scored were against a penalty, but Bloomington scored a shorthanded in the second period, and that was the difference maker.
Those Bloomington Thunder coming in as the odds-on favorite to take this whole Red 2 Bantam division down. 16 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties, topping the Bantam Red 2 division. 4 wins to end their regular season, winning 6 of their last 7. A 3-1 victory over the Cyclones yesterday has them in the driver's seat to make it to the title round. Standing in the way of them in that is going to be the Chicago Blues, however, who, not the same story as the Bloomington Thunder, but they still come in as a formidable foe to Bloomington.
Now that's the biggest thing, is you don't want to take for granted a win against the Chicago Blues. They started this season pretty slow. They were on a 10-game skid in their first 10, and they ended the regular season with a 4-5 loss in overtime against the Sabres. But this team can string together some wins. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're playing their best hockey down the stretch. Look out for the Chicago Blues. They're going to come out swinging.
The Chicago Blues finishing 5th in the standings in the Bantam Red 2 division. 7 wins, 13 losses in their regular season, but 5 of those 13 losses coming in overtime. So this is a team that plays up to their competition no matter who they're up against. Might not always come out on top, but if you're a top team like Bloomington, you got to look out for the Chicago Blues trying to steal one on you.
And definitely keep an eye out for the Blues goaltenders, Nico Girardi and Colton Tuning. They have, in their last 10 games, 3 of those wins were shutouts.
Defense is the name of the game in the playoffs. And of course, you ask any coach, yeah, they want to put goals in and they want to not let the other team get goals. But would you argue that defense is the more important end of the ice to make sure is at its best coming into the postseason?
Absolutely. You have to score goals to win games, but preventing your opponent from scoring their goals, that's how you really have the edge. Defense is not necessarily the first thought, but it is the deciding factor.
Bloomington Thunder versus Chicago Blues. These two teams met twice in the regular season. Bloomington 2-0 in the season series, winning with scores of 2-1 and 4-0 over their opponents today. They're donning the white uniforms, the blue and green trim. We mentioned it before we hopped on. Hartford Whalers a little bit by the first look of it.
Absolutely. Some Hartford Whalers vibes, but that neon green sticks out. There's another team that's going to be wearing neon green tomorrow night playing football, but so far, it's just a really cool uniform situation. The Blues with the diagonal and some blue on black.
Indeed, it is the Blues wearing their black uniforms with the blue trim. Looking to take down Bloomington and try to get back into contention in this Bantam Red 2 Bracket 1 of round robin action. We're off and running. Third game of the day here at the Recplex's Green Rink. 14 minutes in this first period, off and running. Controlling first are the Thunder. Had it for a moment. It's actually the Blues on the attack right now. Back out one-timers flicked in. Blocked. Rebound went out to the slot. Now out to this near side corner. Still have yet to see who it is in net for the Thunder. Getting tested early with some early offense from the Blues. Hasn't turned his back yet, but some hard-hitting physicality to start. The Blues bench is fired up. Able to be cleared, however. Thunder getting it out, off and running. First to touch was Dickin. It's number 27, Jacob Dickin of the Thunder.
That was number 65, Bruschuk, on the hit.
Retreating, but kept in. Now out and in action. Bowman had it. Now his teammate Tanner Rath will retreat to grab it. Him and Bowman, the defenseman, go ahead and play catch and set up this offense. First save of the day made by the Blues tender. And pushing first for the Blues, number 67, I believe it was. She lost his number, but quickly we're back on the other end.
Looks like that's Henry Camigo wearing number 67.
That's exactly who it is. Thank you, Steve. We'll get our first stoppage of play, 12:23 in the clock. Nothing really brewing so far for either of these teams. Could say it's a goaltender battle, but they haven't had a lot of shots to defend so far.
We're only a minute or 2 minutes in, minute and a half in, so we've only completed the first shift, but so far a game that only a goaltender can love.
Certainly seeing a lot of goalie talent today. Even in that last game that we weren't broadcasting because it was a different playoff bracket altogether. But the goalies have come to play today, whether they're standing on their head or making the highlight reel plays and anything in between.
Yeah, it's a shame that we couldn't be a part of the broadcast, but it was a different league, a different part of the bracket, an entirely different part of the Central State Developmental Hockey League, but a thriller, double overtime showdown between the Vipers and the Sabres. That's what held us up, and that's why we're a little bit late on the start here.
11:59, the clock stops at. We see our two goalies in net for the Blues. Number 56, Nico Girardi. His counterpart over wearing number 29 for Bloomington, Michael Trueblood. This time it is Girardi that's going to have to face a potential puck heading his way on this face-off. Winning that one for the Thunder, Colton Anderson. Back around near side. Both of these teams hungry for a win. Bloomington putting themselves in great position with a win here in this game heading into their final matchup in the round-robin bracket, whereas the Blues need to not lose this one in regulation. A regulation loss dooms them and will not allow them to advance no matter what happens in their third game.
Which is a shame because they've been a very, very solid team. You've seen it through their first game on Thursday, a 3-5 loss against the Bulldogs. They couldn't cash in on the power play, but 3 goals at 5-on-5, really solid performance.
A lot of goal scoring in these previous teams' matchups. None so far in the first 3 minutes or so. Substitutions coming off for the Thunder. They'll come back in and make sure this back check is appropriately managed. Aiden Target there, 68, had it up ahead, able to clear it. Got to get back outside are the Blues. Out to Stoffel near the point. He'll lead in. Good defense there from Schrock.
Gutierrez trying to establish the physical game a little early. Throwing the body, being smart about it, but man, he is a force to be reckoned with.
We're seeing bodies flying back out to Stoffel near the face-off circle. He's mirrored closely. Puck still bouncing around. Now it's over. Gotten out of there. Really nothing cooking for either team so far.
Tossed in by Quinn and tipped ahead by Gutierrez.
That is number 45, Presley Gutierrez of the Chicago Blues. Having a long shift out here in this forecheck pressure they're showing. And there he is with the puck in that corner. Target defends. Stoffel couldn't grab it, and now he does. Gets it back into the zone, offside.
A great block by Miller to keep the prevent.
Line changes for both teams coming in. Into the face-off circle for the Blues is, I believe that's Kyle Brunetti. His counterpart, 27, Jacob Dickin. Blues controlling the time on attack to start this one. Shot is fired, but saved. First real test of Michael Trueblood. He answers the call. One-timer's blocked, trickling through the crease, now all the way back out, through the slot. A wide shot is gloved and saved. Michael Trueblood, 3 shots, but 3 saves from the Trueblood.
He's
Heck
really
of a name once again.
Excellent name, excellent name. And he's flashing the leather early, which is really good. The first thing you're noticing about this Chicago Blues team is the size. At U14 level, that's right around the time that most kids hit puberty. So you can sometimes have some undersized kids that haven't quite hit the growth spurt yet, but sometimes you have big guys, and it looks like it's just a team of bigs.
One thing I notice as compared to the earlier games, which our viewers out there may or may not have been with us for, is that these teams have some deep benches, whereas we saw some earlier games, there weren't even teams with 3 full lines of guys to skate out there. These teams have more than enough to get all 4 of those lines out there, and that we're maybe seeing that impact the defense we're seeing so far. Shot on goal is good! The Thunder score! Praising the defense, and my words were eaten immediately. Number 19, Mason Grelk on the board to start us off.
Incredible pass from Coda Milliken. Milliken just looking, finding his guy right there in the crease. You can't draw it up any better than that. Nico Girardi put through the paces. He was in the right position until it gets to the other side of him.
Oh my goodness. It is not 25-0. If you saw that for a second, sorry. I'm not sure how that happened. Were they scoring touchdowns in hockey now? What the heck happened there? That's because I hit the button.
Little technicality there, but centered pass.
Chance for the Blues to respond, but good save. The defense there from Jackson Scott had to be mentioned as well.
Shut down Kyle Brunetti. Great shot, great opportunity. Look to see more from him as this game progresses.
This is a much different dynamic to the earlier games that we've seen, whereas it was quality of shots didn't necessarily matter. The quantity was the big thing. As an icing is called, we'll get it back in the other end. Not a ton of shots here, but every single one seems to be of decent quality that requires some amount of effort from each of the tenders.
And that's always a big thing when it comes to shooting the puck. a lot of fans will scream, especially in Philadelphia, to just shoot the puck no matter where you're at on the ice. That's not always the best option. It's not just how many you shoot, it's also where you shoot from and the quality of the shots. As they used to say in Carolina, you miss 100% of the 40 shots you take.
Couldn't get it in there without a Philly jab, though, huh?
Oh, I'm sure I'll be found around back. The Philly guys will come get me for that one.
We actually had a skater for the Thunder leave the bench area and looks like go to the locker room area. See if we get an injury update at some point. Hope that skater's okay. Not sure what's going on, but did look to be serious. Was under his own power. We play on anyways with the Bloomington Thunder having it in their zone.
For that matter, it also did not appear to be any sort of game misconduct or any sort of penalty. It did just look like a...
Important to note, there is nobody in either penalty box. Continuing back for the point, Thunder one-timer saved in the breadbasket. Blues goalie Nico Girardi's let up a goal, but still not an easy save to make, although a lot of them make it look easy.
Oh, and Nico Girardi's he's swinging with the best of them. Really solid. Just the vision. When you get a shot from the blue line, you have to be aware of how fast it's going to come at you, and it'll always vary. But being able to see it that far out, really solid goaltending so far from Girardi.
So that skater we mentioned headed to the locker room shortly was Jackson Bowman of the Bloomington Thunder. He skated back after that last stop. It seems to be A-okay. Maybe needed some tape on the stick. I'm not quite sure. Thunder play on, though. Shots blocked. Colton Anderson wanted it, but Stoffel mentioned his name a lot. He's kind of playing both ends of the coin pretty well right now.
Ooh.
Hard hit into the boards on the far side. Referees say it's clean. Both benches agree. I think it's just good, clean hockey hit there, Steve.
Clean hockey hit. Glad Colton Anderson was able to just pop right back up. Really solid hockey play on his part. Great athleticism.
1-0, the Thunder have the early advantage. Mason Grelk had a beautiful feed to him on the right side. Net was just about vacant. He made him pay. And the Thunder want to. They're going to keep it up on this forecheck if they can. Puck goes all the way back down to the near corner. It's the Thunder setting up their offense. The Blues seemingly were the ones with all the time on attack to start. The Thunder, though, that goal has them walking around and skating with a little bit of swagger, as Blues a little too eager to get it in offsides. So the earlier games, if you were with us for the Bantam Red 1 games, this is, of course, the Bantam Red 2 division we're dealing with now. A whole lot of those games are either currently going on, went on earlier today, you name it. Whether it's here in Pleasant Prairie or somewhere else. There's so much CSDHL playoff hockey going on today. I'm starting to lose track of it almost, even though we're in the building here.
Make sure you keep the filters on, but tune in to csdhl.org for all the updates on the current scores. We'll keep you appraised as well.
This is true. This appears to be the only Red 2 game going on right now, but behind us over on the blue rink here at the Recplex, Indy Fuel leads St. Peter's 6-0 in a Red 1 Bracket 2 matchup. One-timers fired in, and nothing was really brewing there. Might have been offside if that puck made it past the blue line anyways.
A little bit of miscommunication as tried to dump it off to Tanner Rath. Now they dump it in deep.
Clark had it. We'll just dump it in for the dump and chase. Dickens stays on for the forecheck. He's got to go 1-on-4. We'll just get it in there. Now they have to retreat. Getting in the passing lanes real early, Bloomington. It's amazing what an early goal can do for momentum, as the Blues might try to steal one back, but another puck bouncing off the blocker of Michael Trueblood. Another save. Rebound, though. He's got to be ready. Backhand. Another save. Rebound's good. The Blues even it up.
What a goal. Right place, right time, and that's what Hockey IQ will do for you. Looks like it's Braschuk.
All tied at 1 early in this first period. A lot of early scoring from all the games we've seen today. This one is no exception. Michael Trueblood saving prowess, unfortunately. When a team crashes the net like that, doesn't matter what goalie's between those pipes, it's going to be difficult to save it. The Blues playing their brand of hockey, using that size you talked about earlier, Steve, and that aggression, charging the net, crashing the rack, making them pay for it.
had Karsten Rack called out of the face-off circle for a face-off violation.
Hard to blame him. I'd be itching to get back in there after a goal as well. Under 5.5 remaining in the first period. 1-1 between the Bloomington Thunder and the Chicago Blues in this Bantam Red 2 playoff matchup. Gully gets to his left, right into the breadbasket. Another save for Girardi. But a hand is up from the referee. It looks like we might have something going against the Blues here.
It looks like it's elbowing.
Who is it heading to the box? Looking a little confused on why he's heading to the box, but heading in there anyway. Seamus Quinn is the culprit of our first penalty of the afternoon.
That's a tough one. I think as a defenseman, he was just looking to try and get people away from his goaltender. Maybe did so in a way that the ref didn't quite like, and that'll be a penalty. It's 2 minutes, and the Thunder will get the first power play of the game.
Hard to win games when you're giving a man advantage to the top team in the league, but we will see the might of the Chicago Blues penalty kill right away in this one. Power play for the Thunder. Dangerous loose puck right there in the middle of the slot. No harm this time, and the Blues will attempt to get it out. Looks like they're not going to ice yet. I think they're mindful of that rule that icing is in effect even when you're on a penalty kill chance. That's not true for all youth leagues in this area, but it is in this one.
Interesting thing there, we just saw Milliken pull a bit of a pick move. You're not really supposed to do that in this league. But it did set up his guys down low.
Yeah, good looking rebound chances. They're almost done with 45 seconds of the power play. Still have half the storm to weather. Back out Easton Ryu, inside, save, rebound, off the post. Are you serious?
Oh man, that was as close as it gets. You're gonna have to call Toronto and see if they'll take a look.
And I think slamming is sick in frustration, and understandably so. Coda Milliken had a wide open look on this near side, but sometimes the hockey gods don't want that puck to enter the net just yet. Inches away from making it a 2-1 game. Back in the faceoff circle after the icing call. 57 seconds remaining on this penalty kill. One thing the icing does provide, even though it's called, is of course a get fresh legs out for the remainder of the PK. That puck gets out. Thunder will have to reset. They've been quite patient on this power play. Grek to his right, double teamed. Wants to get it back out. Target and Clark stealing back. Now here comes the pressure. Dickin defended well, kept in by Target. Flips it back to a man who gloves it, slaps it down, shot save. Bouncing out past the point, another save, notch for Girardi.
Excellent save by Girardi, but you really got to control those rebounds. There's already been one where they go to the opposite side of him to get that first goal. That happens again, you might see it 2-1.
Far side one-timer, redirect opportunity, got there a little too late. Back out, does it go all the way back out? No, it is kept in by Target. That will do it for the power play. And with that puck escaping, now there's a chance for the Blues the other way out of the box. Here we go, one-on-one, scores!
What a finish by Gutierrez, straight out of the box, heads up play. It's 2-1 Blues.
Well, Steve, I'll let you break it down a little more than you already did, but what about right place, right time? What better embodiment than Presley Gutierrez coming out of the box there?
That's just a heads-up play. You're on a penalty, you have nothing but 2 minutes to think about what you've done, but you're also thinking about the next play. When you get sprung out of the box like that, perfect setup, perfect timing. Last time I saw something like that, I believe, was 2019 by the Carolina Hurricanes. Justin Falk scores what ended up being the game-winning goal in that one.
That's a deep pull right there. I mean, it's a good point you bring up, though. That's a team effort to get the puck there in Gutierrez's possession, let him do the rest. Just solid passing from the Blues, despite the fact that they trailed to start this one.
And Gutierrez already stepping back up. He's not done. He's already thrown the body, playing a body drill instead of a puck drill right now.
A timid start from both of these teams has led to some fruitful scoring on both ends. Now you're really starting to see that physicality pick up. Bouncing puck around the net of Girardi. Puck's loose into center. Still loose. Oh my goodness. That puck's loose in the crease for about 3 solid seconds. No goal, however. Thunder still threatening. Puck, I think, hit a player on the Blues on the bench, and that's exactly what it did. We'll get a stoppage. 2:14 remaining in the opening frame.
And it'll come back down to the offensive zone for the Thunder.
You know, Steve, if we keep getting this amount of goals in all these games, I'm going to have to get a whole lot more water if I have to keep screaming scores every time. Hey, I'd love to, though. It's my favorite thing to do in hockey, as I'd imagine it is yours as well.
Everybody loves high-scoring games, and I'm one of those people. It's what the game's about, right?
You always get those people that, like, for me, it's always the football purists, like, oh, what's wrong with the 7-3 game? Because it stinks. I want points, man.
I want to see something exciting. I don't want to have to understand that, like, no, the non-points were just as exciting.
Well, you and I were never goalies, and I think that's why we kind of are singing the praises of these two teams right now. Quite the exciting match in the opening 12 minutes or so of this one. Things looking good to start for both teams. Icing is the call. Just under 2 minutes remain.
They always say goalies are a special breed, and all of the professional ones give you every reason to say that. But no matter what, being able to stand in front of the net, knowing that 2-inch disc of rubber is going to be flying at your head, it takes a special breed.
Face-off circle for the Thunder. It's Gully up against him for the Blues, and nearly winning that one momentarily. Looked to be George Schramek. Stoppage on this near side, out of my line of sight. Let's see exactly what happened there. Might have been an offside call.
Looks like it is.
Given what we're going to face off, that's exactly what it was. Schramek against Gully again in the face-off circle. This time Schramek's the victor. Sent in by Easton Rue. We're in 77 for Bloomington. Hard hit behind the boards. Blues bench loving the defensive tenacity. Bloomington gets it in. To his right, defended well. Spinorama, but no one's home. The Blues back off and running on offense. Klein will shoot, but a glove save. A little cross-body action there from Trueblood. Looked like he was showing off a little bit, but a save nonetheless.
Little swim move. Nice, nifty save by Michael Trueblood.
You do see that from time to time at this level, where guys that are more prolific with the glove will tend to do it maybe more than they should. Honestly, if it's a save, it's a save, especially at this level where a lot of pucks on goal can result in unwanted goals allowed.
Absolutely, and I'll be real, I've been 14 before, but it's super exciting to think about getting the highlight reel goal.
Now 45 ticks on the clock in this first period. The Blues started down 0-1, have scored 2 unanswered to take this lead nearing the end of the first period. Reminder to the fans just joining us at this level, 14-minute periods. Save impressively by Trueblood. That was a wide open shot right in front of his goal. Trueblood making sure this one didn't get out of hand.
Gavin Berger, great opportunity, a better save by Michael Trueblood.
So I was mentioning, though, 14-minute periods. They do not bring the Zamboni out between the periods. So we're going to get through this game quickly as we do. The horn's going to sound on the first period. Chicago Blues 2, Bloomington Thunder 1. We got a good one for you folks here in this Bantam Red 2 Bracket 1. Stick with us here for more playoff hockey on SBS.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on, so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
When you fire up Big Ten Plus, you get more game, nonstop, around the clock. More live games you won't see anywhere else. More access to your team, wherever you want, 24/7. More stories.
Unstoppable.
More highlights. More big-time playmakers. Plus, catch up to 4 games at once, so you'll never miss more shots, spikes, and scores. Download the Big Ten Plus app today. It's always game on.
Back here in the green rink at Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin's Recplex, which we mentioned this before. I don't know if we've given it enough. The Recplex we are currently at, which is just called the Recplex, deservingly so, the largest recreation complex in the United States. Pretty impressive stuff. When I drove up this morning, I didn't even know if I had words for it. This is genuinely just the Recplex that never ends.
So it's right on a lake in southeastern Wisconsin. Not the big one, not Lake Michigan, but right along a smaller lake. And sure enough, there is a beach on one side and then the Recplex, the entire complex, on the other. And sure enough, when we were about to do load-in, we walk into the front door and they say, no, the ice rink's over on the other side. So we had to go back out and drive around.
Not often when someone tells you, oh, go to the other side of the building, and you have to drive to get there. Icing is the call. Back to the game action, of course. We get distracted by this beautiful facility that we're at. Alongside Steve Taylor, I'm Andy Diedrich. 2-1 the lead for the Chicago Blues over the Bloomington Thunder. And when you look at Michael Trueblood standing in the net for the Thunder, you wonder how a guy with a frame as big as that, how anybody could even get one puck, let alone 2 past him. That's exactly what we had in that first period.
Just great athleticism by Michael Trueblood to keep it as close as it's been, because every opportunity from the Blues has been an A1 chance. It really is. You have to thank your goaltender for keeping you in this one.
And on the flip side, Nico Girardi just got his money's worth right there, as he certainly did in the first. As these games go on, these teams have a lot of substitutions. It might be a little different. You notice the defense isn't quite as there. Maybe just 1 or 2 beats off. Those passing lanes open up, and chances open right there, as it almost did for Henry Camego of the Chicago Blues.
Just battling down there. He really wanted that puck, and he was not going to take no for an answer.
High-flying puck bounced, almost short-hopped by Trueblood. Got it out. No one was home on the other side, though. No worries. Skating up ahead, so speedy is Brendan Clark on the skates. One-on-one, had to go around. Defense made a move.
Man, you really got to credit your defense to make sure that you don't get that shot off. Clark, what a move. Great opportunity, just couldn't connect.
Rue shot it, but was off balance. Had to shoot it wide. Was falling down as he got it. Nice hit in there. 45, Presley Gutierrez, our most recent goal scorer.
Bloomington Thunder had an interesting game in their last regular season game versus Afton. So it was a 3-2 win, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, which was really interesting. The real interesting part is that there were a whopping 22 penalties in that game.
22?
5 roughing penalties, 2 game misconducts between the 2 teams.
Goodness gracious. I knew that game was physical. We were talking about it earlier. It's chippiness. 22 is a number I don't think I've heard too many times when it comes to penalties. Keep in mind, these are 14-minute periods. These guys aren't playing an hour of hockey like the guys at the NHL level.
Oh, yeah. Just not as much time to get all those penalties. You're surprised they could even keep it all on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Not seeing the same amount of players visiting the sin bin so far. That may change, though. As tempers wage on, but we're gonna get a pause in the action real quick for an icing. New skaters in for both teams. Keep in mind, Bloomington coming into this one up 2-0 in the season series against the Chicago Blues. With this game more important as ever, a win puts Bloomington pretty much controlling their own destiny when it comes to trying to advance to the Bantam Red 2 title game. A win here would secure the chance where if they won that third game, it would guarantee them a title berth, whereas the Chicago Blues need a win here, or else they will not be able to advance to Championship Sunday tomorrow.
It's already off to a great start for the Chicago Blues, and you really got to give them credit, because in those last 2 games that they played against the Bloomington Thunder, they were outscored 6-1 between those 2 games. starting off with a 2-1 lead here in the second. Great start.
That's actually an excellent point. They have outscored their previous 2 games performances, all in the first period here. Again, we talk about momentum. I feel like that's a word we're going to mention a dozen more times on these broadcasts today, but just seeing a couple pucks go in the back of the net, what can that do in this sport of hockey? Almost a third puck going in there. Not quite. Some shoving after the whistle, but a successful save, and now we get some extracurriculars, but the referees step in and keep the players out of harm's way.
It's interesting to have those moments because the Blues are doing the right thing. You don't want a physical game. You don't want a lot of pushing and shoving. You definitely don't want any fights at this level. But you got to stick up for your goaltender. You got to make sure that each team keeps each other honest. We talk about momentum. It's also about an understanding between these two teams at every second of the game. You don't let them get away with anything, and they won't let you get away with anything.
I think that is well said. After all of that, the unraveling is that we have a Chicago Blues player visiting the penalty box. Of course, asking ye shall receive. We just said this was not as physical as the last one, and here we are. So, it's going to be another power play for the Bloomington Thunder. We'll have 120 seconds with a man advantage if they choose to use it all. Of course, they're looking to score much sooner than that. Bowman will send it in off the boards. Patience has been the name of the game for Bloomington. They weren't able to convert on the first power play. Let's see if number 2 bodes well.
Garrett Gully carried it behind the net.
Out to the point.
Tanner Rath at the point.
This is where you see the patience, the sizing up of the defense. Bowman to Rath. Rath wanted to get it to Gully, let it through, but no one was there. Puck goes all the way back. Potential shorthanded chance. And just flicked wide. Not a bad idea there. Rushing back was Camego. Just trying to waste time on this penalty kill for them. Get a new set of legs in there. Make it easier on this team.
Trying to stretch the ice. Catch them off guard.
And whenever you can find yourself in the odd man rushes, good save there. Batted out of harm's way. That puck is sent down. And it looks like it's going to trickle all the way down for an icing call. 48 seconds remain on the PK if the Blues want to go 2 for 2 on the PKs today.
Big opportunity, though. Still 48 seconds left in this power play. Thunder could really come away with one and tie this game up. Miscommunication out there, though.
Uncharacteristic of Bloomington to be off page like that. Granted, I know the looming threat of missing out in the power play is there, but you still have over half a minute. Surprising to see that miscue from them on the passing. And the Blues looking to get a shorthanded chance. They must smell blood in the water, no pun intended on Michael Trueblood's name, but don't think I've ever seen the Blues, or a lot of teams at this level, go for these shorthanded chances like I'm seeing the Chicago Blues do right now.
And that's where we talk about the momentum. This is where the Chicago Blues, having 3 shutouts in some of their last contests, 5-5 for their last 10, it really is, they're playing some of their best hockey down the stretch as the penalty expires here, and we're now back even.
Charging in there, getting a shot in, but Girardi made a nice save. Back to 5-on-5, 2 for 2 on the penalty kills for the Blues against a team that stymied them all season. Another icing, but 2-man advantages for Bloomington. Again, the Bloomington Thunder, number 1 overall seed in Bantam Red 2, 16 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties. Pretty much dominated this Blues team right now. The script has been flipped so far, about halfway through this one. Racing out in front, Camego. He wants a chance at the net. Saved and nearly not picked up in time. Frozen at the last possible moment. Michael Trueblood notches another save.
And what a smart save, too. He notices that he doesn't really have it in his gear. He doesn't feel it, so he just has to try and be still. And staying in front of that, because if he drifts backwards and goes across the goal line, that's just as good as it going in off the back netting.
Game of inches in so many ways. Whether the puck hits off the post and goes in, bounces out, the goalie's able to grab between his legs, lets it go 2 inches past. Either way, though, those couple of inches benefiting the Thunder. They still remain in striking distance, down 1 goal. Blues doing a good job of playing the boards. They like Kamego out in front once again. One-on-one to the left side. Good stick by Scott. Got it out of there. Still kept in. Flying towards the crease, but out wide. Looks like a little dump and chase action. The Blues will get some substitutions in there.
Great opportunity for Seamus Quinn. Real smart heads-up play. Whether that counts for him as a shot on goal or just dumping it in. Very smart defensive play.
Klein had it for a moment on the far side. Now it's batted out. Birch tried to get his stick down. Now he's with it. Klein defends. Just being sent in. Maybe subbing off a little late there was the Thunder. A hard hit delivered behind the net of the Blues. Gutierrez playing catch with Reda. Couldn't get his stick under it. Now controlling it, retreating is Klein. Klein to Quinn, back over to Reda. Missed Klein in the middle, but Gutierrez was there. Back and forth we go. Each team seemingly visiting the neutral zone a couple times in every possession. They're going to do it one more time because we have an icing. We mentioned this in the pregame show. The Chicago Blues, again, don't let the 7 wins and 13 losses fool you. They've played 5 overtime games this year. All 5 ended in a loss, but that means 5 of those 13 losses were 1-goal games that went to overtime, if not more, that were probably 1-goal losses too, especially the way that the Blues have started this contest.
And that's where you can't really identify puck luck. It's the unquantifiable part of the game. Talk about opportunities. You can be in the right place at the right time, but if the puck misses you by a handful of inches, maybe you can control it, maybe you can bring it back, maybe not.
Schrock up ahead's got a man! Shot goes wide. Getting out in front. Just great job by Girardi. Hadn't seen a lot of action. Did there, though, and made the Thunder wish they had a better chance. Stoppage on the play. Offside potentially is the call. Actually didn't see what the whistle was for.
Yeah, it was an offside on Anderson. He had a great opportunity, good look at the goal, but just couldn't quite connect. Ends up going off the back glass.
.6:03 remaining in the second period. The score still standing where we were at the end of the first frame, 2-1 in favor of the Blues. We saw a lot of that scoring break out in the second half of the first period. Will the same occur in the second? Draz first to act with it. Charles Jazz had it with Brushuk, now goes all the way to the far side. Aiden Target. He's hitting the boards by Logan Flynn. Passing out of the forecheck pressure. Great job from Bloomington. But the speed of these Blue skaters getting back in the nick of time.
Easton Rue just couldn't quite get the jets on. That's always the trouble. When you have control of the puck, you want to skate as quickly as possible. But at this level, it might slow you down a little bit, and that's where guys can get the jump on you and get right behind you like you saw just there.
Two very fundamentally sound teams. Very few penalties on either side. Even when they do commit penalties, not a lot of goals conceded. 2-on-2. What can the Blues do? Puck's loose. No one's got it. Loose in the slot, but controlled this time by Bloomington. Off and running. Here they go. Easton Rue to his right. Milliker trailing. Save made on the one-timer. Little wrister from Rue, but another save for Girardi. Another feather in his cap.
And that's a tough one. You really wanted to look for the pass for Milliken, or at least a lower shot to try and get the rebound off of him. But everybody wants to shoot the puck. As soon as you pass it, that puts you ahead a little bit higher. And in this case, it would have brought him even.
This is the time in a hockey player's development where it goes from redirect opportunity, goes wide. It goes from more than just you put your best isolation guy out there, see if he can make a couple toe drags and make it happen. But getting the entire team involved, sharing that puck. We've seen so much good hockey today when you get more than one guy involved.
Absolutely. You see Kamego trying to dangle through everybody, but having a little bit of trouble.
Groke's got a goal today. Shot that one. Rebound chance. Scored! The defense flocked over to Mason Grelk's shot, while it was saved by Girardi, cleaning up his mess and tying this one up. Jacob Dicken of Bloomington, 2-2 with 4 minutes to go in the second.
Excellent shot. Just right place, right time. And we talk about the puck luck. That's also a little bit of skill. He's got the hockey IQ. He knows where he needs to be. Be in the crease. That's where the puck will always end up. And then it ends up in the back of the net.
Bloomington not faltering despite having that 1-goal deficit for a majority of this contest so far. Did you see any difference in them playing when they started this game versus that? It sure looked like to me they were still confident that they could pull this one off.
Right now, it seems like they're playing it like a marathon. They're slowing down the game. They're making sure that they have control of the puck. It started with the penalty against the Chicago Blues, staying in control of the puck and looking at whatever opportunities you can as Nico Girardi pulls in another great save.
Another one of those bouncing pucks. Not every single shot's going to be a lazy wrist shot that you can just glove. Girardi's got to really think on his feet. No pun intended once again. Is the goalie standing on his head or is he thinking on his feet? Or is the answer yes?
Yes, it's always yes. Those kinds of goals are kind of like a changeup in baseball. You weren't expecting them to come as slowly as they were, and you still got to get in front of it.
There's probably some Yogi Berra-ism about that, but we've talked enough about other sports. We probably should stick to hockey for now, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Right before the hockey playoffs one year, back in 2018-2019 time frame, someone said that hockey is an endlessly confusing chaos sport where it's better to be lucky than good. And we know so little about that luck that it makes it impossible to predict.
Sometimes it's just which way that puck will bounce, bouncing off the ice at a weird angle. And that's why any given Saturday in this case, some sort of magic might happen, benefiting one team and detracting from the other. 3 minutes left in the second period. All knotted up at 2 after the equalizer from Jacob Dicken. The Blues looking for a response, sent in. Saucer goes around the net, but is collected by a Thunder skater and up ahead. Regal enters out wide. He'll flick it in as he was getting doubled. Only one new skater enters for the Thunder. They're going to keep a majority of this line. Coming up on the forecheck, Aiden Target. We've seen him be very active on the glass, on the boards, charging the puck. Schrock's first to act. Slow moving, bouncing behind the net. Little more forecheck pressure, a little more aggressive on the hit there. Aiden Target, they got to get back, however. Here come the Blues under the stick of Thomas Klein. Calling for it is Sramek. He wanted on this near side if you saw him smash his stick against the ground.
Looked like Klein just wasn't quite ready for the pass. Looked like he was expecting one more little deke before he got the pass, as Klein pushes it ahead and takes a hit.
Both teams, I think, very content with being in a tie game here. You know, if you're looking at it from Bloomington, it's a tie game. All we have to do is beat a team we've beaten before in the next 14 minutes. If you're the Blues, comparatively, you have doubled your entire season scoring output against this team, not just in the first 2 periods, but in that first period. I think both teams really have their heads held high heading into the final frame.
A lot of excitement for the Blues. They have this opportunity, and they don't intend to squander it.
We'll see the level of aggression we see in the remaining 90 seconds. Great stick in there. Solid defense from Seamus Quinn.
Quinn's really stepped up on defense ever since that first penalty. He's cleaned up his game. It's only the one penalty. Don't mean to be too dramatic against him, but really solid defense. Getting in front of the puck, well-timed poke checks. I'll be singing praises of all the defensemen out here today.
The CSDHL, we've said it a couple times, best Tier 2 league you could find in this great country. A lot of coachable players, and unfortunately one of them looks to be down after a hard hit with 56 seconds remaining on the scoreboard here for the Blues. I believe that's number 85, Karsten Rack, finally getting to his feet. The important thing to note as well, Jackson Bowman heads to the box for Bloomington. So going into that third period with your heads held high, maybe not quite the same if you got to weather the rest of a penalty kill for about a minute heading into the third. Insane toughness from Rack, though, getting up after that. Looks like, I think he wanted to stay in. He finally does come off.
That's always a tough one, too. I don't know how you would feel about this little offside action there. I don't know how you would feel about this, but a penalty that's split between the opening period and the closing period, it's a mixed bag. It really slows down some of trying to get set up in the zone. It's just not as easy.
I think you ask different coaches, you get different answers. I would imagine the consensus of it is if you are the team with the man advantage, you hard hit. My goodness, we heard that vividly up here. But I think you'd prefer to have your power play 2 minutes uninterrupted, not crossing over into periods. I could be wrong, however. Maybe they want to get their guys rested as well. Of course, coming at the expense of the defense having fresh legs as well. 30.5 seconds remaining on the scoreboard here. Hard to say, however. I think you get different answers at different levels of the game, too. I'm sure, whether it's this level or you go up to the prospect level, 16, 17, 18U, high school, college, all the way up to the pros. And no matter what, I think they can all agree there's nothing like Tier 2 hockey here in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin.
Ooh, almost one snuck right by Trueblood. Just kind of whiffed it when he was trying to pull it with a stick. But he gets that one and the next one.
Trueblood rebound, yep. Great works. Trueblood actually does not have his stick right now. There's 2 sticks down on the ice. One of them is Trueblood's. And some luck maybe for the Thunder there where he's able to glove that. He didn't even have his stick there, so that got back out to the slot. Could have spelled danger for Trueblood in that net.
He's a really solid goaltender. We spoke briefly with his brother, Mason Trueblood, who was up here in the press box. He was saying that Michael Trueblood is the best goaltender they have on their team.
Do you think Michael Trueblood's little brother, Mason, may be biased in that take?
Not even a little bit. I trust his hockey insight.
Mason, you're a good kid. Come say hi if you're listening to us. I think he did subscribe. That was very nice of him. That does it for the final seconds of the second period. So the Thunder tie it up with a late goal from Jacob Dickin in that second period, but they're going to have to start with another 1 minute and 3 seconds of a penalty kill in the third. The important stat is 2-2 heading into the final frame in this Bantam Red 2 playoff hockey matchup. Stick with us, folks. Some more hockey action coming your way here on SBS.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
When you fire up Big Ten Plus, you get more game, nonstop, around the clock. More live games you won't see anywhere else. More access to your team, wherever you want, 24/7. More stories.
Unstoppable.
More highlights. Wow. More big-time playmakers. Plus, catch up to 4 games at once, so you'll never miss more shots, spikes, and scores. Download the Big Ten Plus app today. It's always game on.
Quickly back in the action. Third period starting off 2-2 between the Blues and the Thunder. A power play for the first minute of this third, benefiting the Chicago Blues. I'm sure once we get a stoppage, we'll get to talk about that second period a little bit, but both teams hungry to get this goal in regulation. We will say, not that there will be overtime, but overtime rules in these round-robin playoffs. It's a singular 5-minute overtime period, 3-on-3 pond style. Sudden death, if it's still tied at the end of that, the result goes as a tie. In the standings, a win is 2 points, a tie is 1. An overtime win is still 2, an overtime loss is 1, and if you lose, you get nothing.
And the Blues are not ready to settle for just a singular point. They want both of them.
I can't verify this. I know a loss does cements their chance about not making it out of this Bantam Red 2 Bracket 1 into the title. I think a 1-point result, whether that's an overtime loss or a tie, may do the same. But you know that they are clearly not looking to lose no matter what, whether it's in regulation or we take this one to an extra frame.
Oddly enough, it would depend heavily on our next game, the Bulldogs versus the Cyclones. That's the other side of the bracket, or the other two in the round robin for that matter. That would be the result. You'd have to hope that the Cyclones could step up and make it an interesting pool.
It's a great point. As the day goes on, we'll have more and more updates for you on what exactly is at stake, whether a team needs to win to stay alive, whether they need a win or a tie, whatever it may happen to be. We'll have all those scenarios for you. We just need to see these teams take the ice for a little bit more. Clock stops 12:22. 2-1. It was at the end of the first. A singular goal there in the second from the Thunder, but we're seeing these teams maintain their fundamentals, play very disciplined, very few penalties, a complete switch up from the last time these two teams faced off.
And it seems like the Blues are just ready to play their best hockey. I've been saying it for, the shutouts that they've had, the way they've started this game. It just looks like they're a different team out there than what their record shows. And the ability for a team to come together and perform at that level, that's what makes a really great hockey team. It's not just beating the teams you're supposed to beat, it's beating the teams that you weren't expected to beat. It's playing the solid hockey that you need to be playing down the stretch.
Comego, nifty set of moves to keep it in. Now he's trying to go around, nearly had it. Puck was loose in the slot, grabbed away by the defense though. Man, their fast break option every single time has been Henry Comego.
Looked like he was looking for Bernetti there for the shot on goal.
Looked pretty good, didn't it?
Now another opportunity here.
Out of the box, what can the Blues do? Just out of the reach of Rack, he'll funnel it back around. Actually hit the back of the net and was stuck there for a moment. Benefiting the Thunder there because the Blues had something brewing if they got all back down. Thunder will get a line change, much needed for the start of this third. Past the center line, Ceramic sends it in first. Nicholas Retta was chasing. All 5 of them in the zone, ready for this forecheck pressure. Normally, I think that's Bloomington's status quo. Slipping and falling with the puck briefly was Brendan Clark. Now behind the net, the Blues up and at him. Retreating, but with Dickin on his hip, number 33, James Kowalski. And now it's Bloomington's turn to make something happen. Klein, good stick, back out to Brendan Clark. Clark sent it back towards the middle, no one was there. Ceramic wanted to set it in on the dump and chase, but it was blocked. Now he'll skate off. And that's great situational awareness to just send it back from Adam DeZillo. They had a man down skating off. Jacob Dickens got 1 goal, certainly wants another. Wide side save, puck's loose in the crease. Great save and great way to kick it out of there from Stoffel. Benjamin Stoffel, the defenseman. Haven't said his name in a while. He's silently been having a great effort for this Blues team, unable to be gloved on the other end by True Blood.
Stoffel's been bailing out his goaltender. I'm sure Girardi is going to buy him a drink after this one. Of course, it's going to be a Pepsi or a Gatorade. But
we're talking about Mountain Dews, baby, right?
Absolutely.
Credit to Sean White in the Winter Olympics. I think those are started now.
They are.
They're off and running?
Ceremonies last night. All the very colorful mocha pots dancing around, celebrating Italy's coffee tradition.
We'll get a stoppage here for an offside, I believe. When does the real question is, when does hockey kick off at these Winter Olympics?
That's what I have to verify. I'll be, between games, I'll have an answer for you, but for now, I'm just as clueless as you.
Flummoxed, would you say?
I might. I may let you say flummoxed.
Yeah, see, now I got the thesaurus, huh? What's going on now? Once again, folks, thanks for spending your Saturday afternoon with us here on SBS alongside Steve Taylor. I'm Andy Dijak. We're having a lot of fun, and we hope you are too. So settle in for at least the next 9 minutes of playoff hockey action. Draz re-enters and gets a look right away. Not enter yet. Draz will retreat with his teammate. Entered in on the far side. Out wide, Draz. He'll wait, playing catch with his teammate. Out wide, funneled in, goes outside.
Bruschuk there. He's a goal scorer from earlier. He had the first one of the game for the Blues.
Scoring looked like it was going to come in bunches near the end of that first period, but only one goal since then, and a scoreless third period to start this one. This is by far the lowest scoring goal or game of the day, which is funny because it's really not all that low scoring, Steve.
There's been a lot of opportunities back and forth, and this is what they mean by it can be exciting without the scoring, but I still do prefer some scoring, and it'll be interesting to see who breaks through next.
Quinn will send it in, full line change on for the Blues. By my eyes, Quinn will stay out there. He's with Kowalski. The Kamego, the fast break threats. Joining them is Benjamin Stoffel. Brunetti's the fifth. He was first to act on it. And will help keep it in with the help of Kamego. Kamego with that big frame looks like he might be better suited in net, but he's got quite the stick on him and what he can do with it.
I'm not sure what kind of enforcer he is, but he's definitely built like one.
The Blues defense is going to need to get their reps, though. Loose puck now collected by Bloomington behind the net, but swarmed by some defenders wearing the black jerseys. Batted out, backhanded up to Kamego. Looking for him seemingly every time they clear it past the blue line. Miller had it, lost it, now back out. Brunetti. Small in stature, helped him get past the two defenders, send it in. Much needed line change.
Really smart play by Brunetti.
Kyle Brunetti can't be taller than maybe 5'5", using that frame to his advantage. We've seen a couple of the smaller fellas get their names in the stat sheets today.
And that's one thing to remember is that you do have to try out for these teams. This is a travel hockey league. Not everybody who pays the league fee is really going to make the team. These teams do have tryouts. So if you see a guy with a smaller frame, he's not going to get away with just being able to throw the body around. That's a stick skill guy. That's a Connor Bedard, a Macklin Celebrini.
I guess we might have some Blackhawks fans watching and some Wild fans. I guess bring the NHL to Wisconsin, folks. Even I can agree on that.
No argument there. Need another rivalry with Wisconsin from the Chicago point of view.
I think it just keeps the folks down there in the Windy City alive, knowing that they have some team up in the Badger State to hate and seethe over.
Absolutely. Which brings me, I guess, to the naming of the Chicago Blues. Uh-oh, opportunity.
A swing and a miss after a steal. Great play. Unable to convert on it was Gutierrez looking for goal number 2.
Trying to stretch to get to Rue. He'll beat the icing.
Time continues to tick away. Under 6 minutes remaining in regulation. Seemingly more and more like an overtime game. Remember, we said the stat already, but it begs more and more importance. Is having to stretch out and make sure he collected that one was Nico Girardi. Another save for him. Chicago Blues, 5 overtime games this year. 0-5. They lost every single one of them in an overtime loss.
You got to think they're thinking that they want to win this one in regulation, but you already know that both teams, the entire bench is thinking that they want to get the next goal. So it's not really a question of whether they get it in regulation or in overtime. I'm sure they'd really like to snap that 5-game overtime losing streak, but regardless, everybody wants the next goal.
Face off back to Rath. He's near the point. No one's in the corner, but now going to collect it is his teammate Clark. Clark's been all over the place, but mirroring him the entire night's been Seamus Quinn.
So what I was saying about the Chicago Blues is that the Blues, the St. Louis Blues, are the Chicago Blackhawks' biggest rival in the Central Division. Not as much right now with the Blues being going through a rebuild and Chicago not doing much better, but it's exciting and it's always good to beat St. Louis. But it's definitely an interesting thing to see the Chicago Blues. But the Blues are a music genre born and raised in Chicago. So it's a very fitting name for the outfit just south of O'Hare. Chicago Blues play all their home games out of Bensonville.
You ever been to a blues bar in Chicago, Steve?
I can't say I have.
I know a great one. This is also a recommendation for all the 21-plus folks back home. Get yourself a ticket. Go to Kingston Mines on a Thursday through Sunday and have the time of your life. I promise you that. Whether it's these Chicago Blues or the St. Louis Blues or anything in between, it's quite the fun family experience. You're not going to be let down. That's all I'm going to say.
For those looking for a good time in South Loop, you can also keep an eye out for Buddy Guy's Legends.
Oh, okay. See? And they say we're just hockey commentators. We have culture, too, sometimes.
This is the advantage of living in the city. Lots of excitement, lots of opportunity.
Do we talk about hockey 95% of our waking lives? Yeah, but that 5%'s got good stuff in it, too.
Absolutely. Where are we going to talk hockey? Maybe in Kingston Mines between sets.
Now you're thinking, Steve. All right, we got to stop distract ourselves. This is a great game, actually.
It's a phenomenal game, and it's back and forth now with under 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, let's do it some justice. 2-2 between the Chicago Blues and the Bloomington Thunder. A key game for Bantam Red 2 playoff contention.
Good keeping by Kowalski. Dump it in. Let your forwards get it.
The Blues, much better job of keeping it in. This is reminiscent of their first period where they were doing all of this on offense and more. Michael Trueblood, though, the netminder for the Bloomington Thunder, let up 2 goals in that first. A clean sheet since then.
Really solid performance by the Blues to try and keep this in the offensive zone. Klein taking it in a little deeper as they get a line change.
Yeah, they set Thomas Klein in there to go 1-on-4, but he did his job. New skaters out on the ice for the Blues. And off one of those skaters' skates, Jack Berman playing some good defense. Intercepted by Bowman. Chance at the net, but save. Nico Girardi take a bow. Aside from that goal late in the second period, this third has been really the story of these two tenders.
It really has, and Nico Girardi, just a phenomenal performance in the crease. He's keeping his team in it. He's making it exciting.
Bennett Miller is up against, in the faceoff circle, George Sramick. Sramick had it, and now will clear it. The Blues, again, it seems in the latter half of this third, most of the time on attack, on the time overall, has been with them threatening in the zone. They're doing a great job of clearing these pucks past the blue line.
And just really solid performance from the blue line. Stoffel and Berman as an example there, taking a hit to make a play, are the Chicago Blues. Blue line.
Yeah, pun intended that one probably.
Absolutely.
We're going to workshop that one. We're going to figure it out maybe by the end of overtime if we head there. But under 2 minutes to go, falling. Betts wants a tripping call. The referee says no can do. Could have been a critical call or no call depending on your rooting interest in this game. But 2-2 remains, and we'll stay at even strength.
That was a really close call. It looked like they were trying to make a play on the puck, but every second that passes, it's sort of further away from making a play on the puck. Makes it a little tougher to call that a non-penalty, but the ref calls it none.
Gutierrez in the corner absorbs a hard hit from Tanner Rath charging in. Another hard hit delivered. This time, Gavin Berger was the enforcer. And Bloomington skaters kind of waiting back on this possession as we're younger than a minute in regulation. Bruchek gets to his right. Will shoot, but it's saved. Trueblood, probably 20-plus saves tonight. His counterpart, Girardi, close to the same. 40 seconds remain. Quinn's defending. Batted around on the far side near the face-off circle. This time Bloomington keeps it in for a little bit. Intercepted, slot, still loose. Blues heading the other way with it. Flicked in, bouncing puck. Scary moment there. I don't think it hit the post, but either way, Trueblood collects. 20 seconds and counting. In the neutral zone, here comes Bloomington. What can the Thunder do? Milliken fires it in, unable to be frozen by Girardi, saved nonetheless. One more chance if they can get it out of the near corner. And some patty cake being played, and that's all for regulation. No scoring late in this one, and we're going to head to an overtime frame tied 2-2. We're going to take a short break as we get ourselves ready for some extra free hockey. We hope you join us here on SBS.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
When you fire up Big Ten Plus, you get more game, nonstop, around the clock. More live games you won't see anywhere else. More access to your team, wherever you want, 24/7. More stories.
Unstoppable.
More highlights. Whoa! More big-time playmakers. Plus, catch up to 4 games at once, so you'll never miss more shots, spikes, and scores. Download the Big Ten Plus app today. It's always game on.
Overtime in Pleasant Prairie. The Bloomington Thunder and the Chicago Blues are in quite the battle. They've gone back and forth, really turning to a chess match down the stretch. So a sudden death 3-on-3 overtime is going to dictate who takes the 2 points out of this key matchup in the Bantam Red 2 Bracket 1 division.
Gutierrez and Bruschuk for the Blues. They have the 2 goals. And it looks like Bruschuk and Gutierrez are out there. Gutierrez looking to maybe get a switch here. A quick little equipment change for him.
And we've seen how important it is to have the right personnel out there to start the day. For those of you who are with us, we had a sudden death overtime. Goal scored 7 seconds in. If you don't have your right personnel in there, it can either cost you or win you the game. We will start this sudden death overtime. It's the Blues on the offensive attack.
Bruschuk taking a hit from Dickin.
3-on-3, such a different dynamic compared to the normal 5-on-5 youth strength, or even 4-on-4 you see when there's a penalty on both. Because here's a 2-on-1 odd man rush if he can collect it for the Blues. Bruschuk, Gutierrez, shot went near post, goes wide.
Could see it ricochet off the net, but it was the back of the net.
Quinn just fires it in, but knows he has a teammate there to collect. It's Quinn. Gutierrez wants to redirect. That shot goes left of him. Coming around Bruschuk. Gloves? No. Does go wide. Smart there to maybe not freeze it and give his chance a team to get off and running. Nice set of moves to get him open. Give and go action, but the defense holding firm for Bloomington.
Bowman going ahead, hoping to get a feed. No such luck.
You do see him leaking out. Number 99 wearing the white jersey for Bloomington is Jackson Bowman.
Jacob Dickin in the corner.
Yeah, Bloomington's got to hurry with the substitution, but now up ahead. Here's a chance for number 40, Noah Regal. But the defense, once again, on the other end, Seamus Quinn. That's another name we've called several times in this afternoon.
You got to put your top defenseman out there, and who else but Seamus Quinn. Solid day as a defenseman.
Three-on-three, it's so interesting. It's not just that you're going to sub, it's when. If you can get a guy coming out of the substitution, leaking out for a potential go-ahead, a 1-on-0 chance, or if you needed him to get his butt back on defense, it depends when exactly you make that substitution. So far, nothing's costing either of these teams. Good coaching on both ends.
And it is the long change. They switch sides, so it is another long change, something to be aware of as you try and make these changes, as Berger moves it ahead, but is knocked right off the puck.
In there for Bloomington with the puck is goalie. Alongside him is Rath and Regal. Save near side from Girardi.
Looking to spring Berger.
Sramick off, Berger off. Blues have to get back on defense. No, Bloomington will make a substitution, so it was 2-on-2. in the middle, under his stick, had a chance looking in the slot. Coda Milliken's got to get back. He has a teammate back there. To front, the offensive attack. It is 3-2 for the Blues. Bourbon, just wide. Jack Bourbon had a look, almost had the golden goal.
Got to get smart on that one. Missed it by that much.
2 minutes remain in this sudden death overtime. Neither team wants to come out here with a tie, especially how hard they've played, the defensive prowess we've seen. But especially for Chicago and the Blues team, they know 1 point is probably just about to cook their goose in terms of trying to make the title game.
It really will make a difference. That extra point means everything as we get a stoppage here with 101 seconds left in the overtime period.
Take a look at our YouTube chat, which probably should have mentioned this earlier. Thank you for everyone watching. Feel free to chime in the YouTube chat. Whitney D has let us know that the women's prelims have started for Olympic hockey. The men's prelims start 2:11 to 2:15. USA men's hockey kicks off 2:12 against Latvia. Thank you, Whitney D. Thank you, Mom.
Off the skate and up, and another shout out to 2.5 swings watching from South Africa.
I did not see that. All the way from South Africa. Hockey's a global game. Let's grow it. What can we do back here in Pleasant Prairie, though? Dickin to his right. Defense, swing and a miss from his teammate Grelk. Puck was loose in the crease. Now stolen back. Every single loose puck, you can feel the fans standing up and the energy taking up a notch. Augie Zimmerman will shoot, but a great save from Girardi. Brishuk, trailed by Gutierrez. Takes it himself. Scores! If you want something done right, you might as well do it yourself. The Blues team knew they needed a win, and that's exactly what they got. The overtime game-winning goal gives them the W, 3-2 over the Bloomington Thunder.
What a move. He looked like he was going to pass it, but took it himself. Went 5-hole. What a shot by Bruschuk. What a finish by the Blues.
You know, Steve, this was another one of those games. You almost have to pause and take a moment just to take that all in. It's another contest where it's amazing that one of the teams has to lose. I mean, what another hard-fought matchup between two teams. You know, Bloomington, #1 team in the regular season, clearly one of the favorites to win that trophy in the Bantam Red 2 division. But for the Chicago Blues, they haven't beat this team all year, haven't really come close. And now they find themselves maybe one game away from getting that title game.
And that's why you play all the games. That's why you got to close out the season. A really solid performance by the Chicago Blues. But don't look away. The Bloomington Thunder still have another game later today, and I bet we'll see them comes Championship Saturday, or excuse me, Championship Sunday.
Honestly, with all the games we got and the high stakes in here, it certainly feels like a championship environment in here, Steve. That'll wrap us up, though. A big time for the first overtime win of the year for the Chicago Blues. We got a whole lot more hockey coming here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. But for this contest, we're going to wrap it up. Chicago Blues 3-2 over Bloomington in overtime. We'll catch you in the next game.